You ready, bud?
Sure.
Cool. We're doing it. We're really doing it.
Are we live?
I think so. That's what the computer's telling me. Look at our setup. We did it.
We're doing it.
Coming to you live.
From Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City, Utah. Hey, bud. What's up, Taylor?
Evan?
I already got the giggles. Okay. So we are wanting to just kind of like record conversations because it's fun. And we think it would be a fun exercise to do together. So here we are. We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So we're in Salt Lake City. Me and my husband of 2 months. And this is our little, how would you describe
Husband of 2 months.
Did I say 2 months? Feels like 2 months, but it's only been a year.
It's only been a year.
Okay, I don't know where I got 2 months from, but we've been married for a year.
Husband's been 2 months. We've been here for 2 weeks.
We've been here for 2 weeks. Thank you for trying to justify my brain fart so early on.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, that's why I needed you here with me. See? It's so much more fun together. But yeah, we're just going to have some fun conversations about things that we like to talk about that are important, that we think are important. People might not think they're important.
Or that maybe we don't think are super important.
Yeah, that too.
We could talk about importance.
Yeah. We could go from talking about how I just made fresh baked Kaiser rolls.
I'm excited for.
I know, I'm torturing.
Everything's ready.
Everything's ready for dinner right now.
It smells delicious in here.
It smells so good. And Evan's like, for our first podcast, we can have this thing where we eat in front of the camera and talk to people and tell them what we're eating. But we decided to spare that for maybe another time. I'm not good at talking and eating.
I don't know if anyone's good at it.
Well,
you're just not supposed to do it.
Yeah, right. You're taught that from a young age. Don't talk with your mouth full. I get too excited
Nobody
too.
wants to listen to that unless it's like ASMR.
Even that is disgusting.
Probably some weirdos out there listening to people
that
eat.
Are just like, Kaiser.
Yeah, maybe that's what this will turn into.
An ASMR?
Yeah, probably.
I feel like ASMRs are like weirdly sexual. Is that why so many people are attracted to them? Or like,
I think there's sexual undertones to it.
Yeah, it's just so many like, I don't know, like steam.
I think there's science behind like audibly listening to that, probably.
Of course there is. What would like as
no,
a
like
way?
What does ASMR stand for?
Auditory stimulus.
Mechanical.
I can look it up.
Pull it up.
What does ASMR stand for? We were not. We were very far off. Autonomous sensory meridian response. What the does that mean? The picture on the Google like Gemini thing is somebody going like this. I don't know what people's obsession
super
is.
Creative with it. They use like props.
Yeah, there's a lot of nails involved, which maybe that's where the sexualness comes from. I don't know. Is that just that might just be me?
Sexual. Yeah, I think that's just you. What does meridian mean?
Meridian?
In the
well, let me finish. ASMR stands for autonomous sensory meridian response, a term used to describe a tingling, sex, static-like or goosebump sensation in response to specific triggering audio or visual stimuli. So meridian, is that like the genetics? Or no, that's Mendelian genetics. Meridian, I think sunshine, like, I don't know. 2 years old's closer to you, not now. Imaginary north-south line of the Earth's surface that connects both geographical poles. I knew it had something to do with the Earth.
Yeah.
I thought it was like the sunshine, but it sounds like. But what does that have to do with ASMR? I'm failing to make the connection here.
We're gonna have to look into it.
Yeah, we'll look into it. Okay, cool. Well,
so we're not gonna eat dinner while we do a podcast.
No, we'll make it quick. I promise. Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
I wanted to talk about things that are fun, things that are going on, that we're doing, that we're trying to do. I was saying what this year is for me is a year of getting healthy because we want to have a family soon. And to me, that's my motivation, is to stop all the bad habits and behaviors and start being more consistent with the good ones.
Yeah, you start replacing the bad habits with good habits, and then
I wish it were that easy, but it takes some getting used to, for sure.
I think if you just start jamming in the good habits, there's no room for bad habits.
That's true. But the bad habits creep in when you're like, I think, looking for an escape, or like if you're struggling.
Just creeps in every once in a while, is it a bad habit?
Well, it becomes one when it's a constant like crutch or fallback. So like, for example, what do we want to use for an example?
We're going down this road.
Oh no, one of the goals of this podcast for me, I'm calling it a podcast, I don't know what it is to be really honest about our experience. And I think more people can relate when you're honest and don't sugarcoat things. So the bad habits that I struggle with are mostly smoking weed. That's been something that I've done since 16 years old, and that I wouldn't say has ever been a problem. I would just say it's always been there for me, like a crutch almost. It started out as fun, and then it kind of evolved into like an escape. So when I wanted to detach or like not fully sit with some uncomfortable feelings of like trauma, past stuff, like I would just smoke, and that would be numbing for me. And then it kind of like, it becomes a habit, because then it's like you associate like, oh, I feel like anxious, I'm going to smoke weed. Oh, I need to make something more fun and entertaining, which I think a lot of people smoke weed because they have this belief that like, oh, if I do this, then it's going to make this experience more fun or more entertaining, or I can get more out of it, I can get more out of the experience.
I think it does, though. I'll play devil's advocate on this one.
Yeah. Go for it.
I think there's numerous activities that when I smoke and partake in those activities, it's enhanced. I think skiing is a great example.
Yeah.
I think anything that is involving bodily movement maybe even the number one thing that I think it has improved for me, which we might go down this topic of working out.
Yeah.
And I think smoking weed and working out, it unlocks a certain level of mind-muscle connection that I think is critical.
Critical, or it's just like more pleasurable?
I think when it comes to, I would say critical in the physique building.
Because the
era.
mind-muscle connection can allow you to isolate specific, like,
just get the most out of every muscle group.
What's, like, use an example.
And like really isolate the muscle groups.
Right.
Yeah. And really focus on time under tension, and you just tap into that muscle and the fibers. And I think a lot of people in the gym, especially younger guys that want to put on muscle, I think they just go in and go through the motions, and there's no connection to their muscle contracting.
Yeah.
And I think once you can unlock that, you start reaching.
I mean, that's not to say that you can't get that mind-muscle connection, but I think weed helps you become more aware of it without having to, like, think about it. Like, you can be like, if you're doing like bicep curls, you can be like, oh, I literally feel this. Like,
well, it
not
teaches
just trying
you.
to flex
I can
to
do
show
it.
Off, but
you don't need weed after it teaches you.
Right.
Then you understand it, because weed allowed you to see what it feels like.
Yeah, so it's almost like a gateway drug.
It's a gateway drug to great workouts.
I
and
agree.
Then it feels like you can push past. You can kind of ignore like lactic acid buildup. You can kind of push through the. That's gotta sound pretty cool.
That's gotta sound cool.
You can push through the burn way easier and kind of ignore it and just like push through and get like way more reps than you would normally.
Yeah, I was actually just talking to my trainer about this because she jokingly, well, we've been here for 2 weeks, and I have a personal trainer at the gym because that's how serious I want to get about working out and being accountable. But one of the first things she said to me was during our workout this past Friday was that she saw a client the day before, and she showed up like super stoned, and she was just giggling the whole time. And she was like going on and saying like how hilarious it was. And she was like, oh, it was so great. And I was like, oh, I gotta like come stoned next time so you think I'm more fun. So then it like opened up this whole conversation about, and we were talking about like the mind muscle connection and everything, and how it can almost like that numbness again, like you don't feel as much pain physically, like, or the lactic acid buildup. You can like push through, whatever discomfort you're feeling.
You learn to embrace the feeling.
Yeah.
And like enjoy the feeling.
Yeah. It's weird. Like, see,
but I did see someone once say that someone once somewhere has said
on Twitter,
somewhere I've read, this was a while ago, that that is true because it delays your central nervous system from firing.
That doesn't sound good.
In the context of pushing through the burn.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's probably why so many Olympic athletes and like basketball players and football, like, don't they all smoke a ton of weed?
Yeah, basketball players, yeah.
Yeah.
They don't
get in the zone.
Yeah, they stopped drug testing for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think players have notoriously showed up to games high. Like, Stella's.
Are you okay, Steph?
Deep breathing over there.
She's like, what's going on? Our little French bulldog, Stella, is starting to pant. She's in her bed. It is kind of hot in here. But when she wants to make an appearance, she'll make an appearance. But anyway, so I think because there are definitely many advantages, but Stella, are you okay? She's like, who are you talking to?
Who are you talking to?
Who are you talking to?
What are you saying?
Truman Show.
Shout out.
But that's like a slippery slope for me because I get intentional use, but intentional use quickly kind of becomes a daily habit. And I don't want that anymore because I know how it affects. I know, first of all, given my background, I know like it does have a psychological effect for chronic long-term use, like is linked to schizophrenia, it's linked to mental illness, and I have to be really careful because that stuff runs in my family. So I'm coming from a position of like I've gotten to the point, I think, in my life where I'm like I don't need this anymore, and the cons kind of outweigh the pros. I will always be grateful for weed, and I will always use it to some capacity. But right now, while we're here, like I just think it's more of a hindrance than helpful.
Yeah, it speaks to how each of our relationships with weed started. Yours came from a place of maybe smoking because you were anxious, where that was never the case for me when I started smoking. It was always smoke because we're going to go do something fun.
Yeah.
So to me, I still want to do that.
Well, it did start as that, but then it kind of came as a coping mechanism, I think. Like an acceptable coping mechanism. And then I got like my card where I could legally go so that was enabling.
Mm-hmm.
And also you haven't been smoking for as long as I had been. Like I started at 16. Like my brain wasn't even fully developed when I started.
I didn't start till later college.
Which is crazy to me that you did not have experience with marijuana until after college, right? Like at the end of college. That's crazy. Yeah. But anyway, I'm excited to just like try and optimize these next few weeks or months or year. How long are we here for? A year.
At least. Yeah, that's my goal too, is health. Just getting in good shape. You know, we have the potential to be in like really good shape. It's like, why wouldn't we want to? You know?
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of lived a vagabond life, I would say.
It's been hard.
Well, life has been amazing. Like we've
been as far as working out consistently.
Staying in a routine.
Staying in shape.
Yeah.
Never fall out of shape, I wouldn't say.
No, we're very active individuals, but I think there's a difference between being active and actually being in shape, because you think you're like, oh, like I'm still like good, you know, and then you try and go for a run. Like I couldn't even run a half a mile on the treadmill at the gym, and I was like, this is embarrassing. And like,
yes, also the altitude we keep forgetting about.
Oh yeah, that does have something to do with it.
I want to be better. I don't want to just be in shape.
Yeah.
I want to be impressive.
You want a thick neck?
I want a thick neck. That's one of my physique goals.
Thick neck.
We should measure it.
We should.
Should I get to take measure?
It's like a pregnant woman measures their belly. See how much it grows every couple of weeks. We're going to measure your neck. You do? Sorry. Never mind.
I have a skinny neck.
Come over here.
I have a giraffe neck. It needs to thicken up. All right, get it. Make sure it's like, remember where on the neck you're doing it.
4 inches? No.
That'd be crazy. Mike Tyson had a 20-inch neck.
Oh my god.
What's mine?
Yours is like 16 and a quarter.
That's not too
Wait,
far off.
Mike Tyson's is
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that doesn't seem that big actually.
This is a bad tape measure to be using.
Yeah. You need like a fabric measure.
But then if you, what was it, 16?
16 and a quarter. I would take every quarter you
That
can
right
get.
across the Adam's apple?
How big is mine? If mine's bigger than yours, I'm gonna be so upset.
No, did you take that right in my Adam's apple?
Your Adam's apple's a little crooked, so just to the side a bit.
Yours is like 13.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Not that that matters. Thick necks need love too. But that's
apparently
actually,
it's a easy muscle group. It grows easily.
how do you like work out your neck?
You got to do some goofy stuff. You got to do traps.
Do you have to do like a head
I
weight
mean,
and like
your
swing
traps
it?
traps are big. Those grow fast.
Yeah.
Like deadlifts.
Oh.
Deadlifts with the hex bar is great for the traps.
Oh. So
It's
you're
like a
really
static
just
trap movement. And then just heavy shrugs, and then for like you can like grow like the front of your neck, and you would lay flat on a bench with your head like hanging off the back, and like hold like a weight on your forehead, just like hold it there and just.
That sounds ridiculous.
And then you can do it lay on your stomach and then do the same thing that way.
Ow!
And
Oh
then you
my
can go
God!
aside.
So your neck gets sore, like instead of like
Yeah.
your leg.
People are like,
like
be
a leg
careful
day.
because
You
like,
have a neck day.
yeah, because people are like, you can deal with sore legs or sore arms, but your neck is like,
Yeah, that
if
would
your
suck.
neck sore the next day, it might hinder your life.
Your performance
Yeah.
at work just like work from home life. But okay, so we'll have to make that a weekly check-in. We'll check
Maybe
the
not
girth of
weekly.
your neck.
If that's what that's a thing. I'm gonna go hard.
Oh my God. Mike Tyson, my ass, you're gonna have like a 22-inch neck.
No, I wonder what would be realistic. Like add an inch to it.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
That's one thing that freaks me out about going to the gym is adding inches to not my neck, but like my ass and legs. Yeah,
you're not gonna.
No, I know.
It's gonna get more toned.
I know. And I want to put on muscle. Like last year, it was crazy doing that in-body scan and seeing the difference in my body composition from last year to this year. And I was working out like hardcore last year, like almost like an unhealthy amount, I would say, leading up to getting married. Like,
yeah, but then after we got married,
I was still working out pretty hard.
Yeah, not when we got here.
No. By that point, we were skiing.
As far as resistance training goes.
But I have lost a lot of muscle in the past year, and I want to get it back. But like, as a woman, I know so many women struggle with the number on the scale creeping up when they start resistance training, because when your muscles grow, they store more carbohydrates, and when you store more carbohydrates, you're storing more water. Also,
3 to 5 grams of water per
gram of carbohydrate.
Yeah.
So, yeah, your muscles are literally
if you eat
sponges for
what's sweet, like a small
glucose.
sweet potato has how many grams of carbs?
Like probably like 50.
Really? So if you eat a small sweet potato, say it's 30.
Okay, so if I were to eat a small sweet potato, no, that's a cup. One sweet potato, 26 grams of carbs. So if you store 3 to 5 grams of water,
75 to 100 grams of water.
Yeah.
along with that sweet potato. If you have muscle storing the
Glucose. Because when you ingest something that is rich in starch or sugar, like a root vegetable, but more accurately, like if we're talking about working out, like a banana, oatmeal, any type of sugar, cookies, pretzels, cake, any type of sugar. If you have muscle, that's the benefit of having muscle, because it like
sucks it up.
latches on to that sugar and sucks it up, so that when you do go to work out, or if you're fasting for an extended period of time, your muscle like releases that sugar so that your body has energy to run on, to produce, ATP for whatever sort of activity you're doing.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's hard to get over. Like, I know all of this, right? But it's just something that I've always struggled with when it comes to resistance training, because there's this belief that we're taught at a young age, women, that like you're just supposed to be small and tiny and dainty. Although I have to say, at the gym that we're going to, I'm very impressed by the amount of women who show up there that are like rock solid.
Our gym looks good.
Our gym looks so good.
Dudes too.
We need to get on that level.
I know, it's almost intimidating going in there right now.
But it's inspiring for me, because I'm like, oh shit, like all of these other girls are overcoming this multi-generational stigma of having to be slim, tiny, dainty, barely eat anything, low calorie, low carb, whatever, and like taking their power back and like strong, and like literally like walk up into the weight room and just like bump the guys out of the way and take whatever machine or weights they want. And I'm like, damn, that's so cool. Like I want that. I want that confidence. Like, I want to get there.
Yeah, with muscle comes great confidence.
Yeah. I just don't want to look bulky. Said every woman ever. Anyway. All right. Anything else?
I feel like I could go on all night, but
I know, this
hungry.
is so fun. I know, if we didn't have Kaiser rolls waiting for us, then I would keep going. But this has been 27 minutes. I feel like that's a great first episode.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. All right, cool. Should we do another one?
Right now?
No. Your neck's got to grow another inch first. All right. Signing off. To be continued?
To be continued.
Okay. Love you. Love you.
Love you.
Love you. Okay. How do I stop? Oh. Bye. And recording.